What I'd like to do is kind of talk through where we're going at the Texas Department of Transportation on our project delivery and construction program. But first, let me talk through a few Texas stats. I think the first thing you're going to realize about me and Texans is that we're an arrogant bunch, so we like to brag a lot. And if you don't believe that, just sit around a little bit and we'll tell you about it. So we have an 80,000 centerline miles of roadways across the state. We have over 56,000 bridges across the state. And one thing that we're very proud of about that number is one, that it's more than any state in the country, but two, we're very proud of our condition of our bridges. And we typically rank in the top one or two spots in bridge condition. So we're very proud of that. We have over 10,000 miles in rural connectivity program, and we we feel in the state of Texas that it's important to connect all parts of the state because all parts of the state provide something for our economic growth. And even though some areas of the state aren't heavily populated, we still think it's important to connect those areas because they're producing something that's important to the rest of the state. Just a little bit about our population. We are still growing. We grow by almost 1,300 Texans per day. That population growth there, the 473,453, is something that we have to deal with every day. Another interesting thing is the percentage of that growth. There's three components of growth in Texas. One is more births than deaths. One is international migration, and one is domestic migration. And those three have very different characteristics. But I'll focus on domestic migration. That component, the percentage of our growth, is growing more every day. And those folks, domestic migration is people that are migrating to Texas from other states. They bring vehicles with them day one, and they're driving on our roads day one, and we have to accommodate them. Just a little bit about our program. We currently have over $39 billion of projects currently under construction throughout the state, and that's the most we've ever had. And tomorrow that number will grow, and that'll be the most we've ever had. And it's mainly due to the financial resources that our Texas legislature has provided us, and we're able to build this huge program, and it's a huge opportunity for us to do a lot of great things across the state. Our 10-year Unified Transportation Plan, which is our 10-year project development plan, currently is over $100 billion in projects. And again, that is the most we've ever had. We expect maybe the next one might be another record 10-year plan. And then we believe they'll level out. The project plan that we just approved includes the $100 billion for new construction, but it also includes investments in project development and buying right away and doing the design. So the total investment in projects for that 10-year plan is over $140 billion. Again, that's the most we've ever had. And then in 2023, our annual letting was $12.1 billion. That was a record, and we are quickly going to break that record this year with a $13.6 billion target letting. So let's talk about how we're doing some of that. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is digital delivery. We are full speed ahead on getting to the point of delivering our projects without ever producing a hard copy set of plans. Currently, right now, we're doing all of our design in 3D. We're trying to get to the point right now where we're releasing our 3D models to contractors pre-letting. We haven't got to that point yet where we're doing it on all projects. And that'll be kind of a transition to get the industry accustomed to what we're providing. So then eventually we won't be presenting or producing hard copy plans. I think it's proven to be very beneficial to us, at least the 3D design, because we're able to see a lot of these things in advance, and we're able to, for example, identify utility conflicts or storm sewer conflicts or footing foundation conflicts, and it's really been a big asset to get our projects ready to go. And I think we eventually want to take this full life cycle. So this is a slide kind of showing the construction part of it, but that kind of circle of life on the right is the whole life cycle of our digital delivery. But we got to be thinking about this whole circle beforehand, because we really need to know what kind of standards we're going to use, what kind of systems we're going to use for the ongoing asset management and operations and maintenance of these facilities using these digital models, so that when we're producing them up front, we get all that correct and right. This is our schedule. You can see where we started in earnest back in 2018. We've been working through, and we're working with industry, both the construction industry and the engineering industry, to make sure we're bringing everybody along. We fully understand that we're not cutting edge on this. There's been a lot of good work in this field, but we're really taking a deliberate approach to make sure we're not impacting our ability to deliver our program as we go through this. We do talk about in spring of 2024 there in the top blue box about the first fully digital pilot project. So we plan to let one project, a very small, basically pavement rehab cross-section type project, this spring, there will not be plans produced. We will be just providing the full digital model for the contractor community to bid on. And so this is that project. It's our Farm to Market Road 1977. It's in our San Antonio district. You can see some of the tools that we're using there on the right. I think an important thing to note is our contracting industry, we believed for a long time, was way ahead of us, because they were taking our 2D plans and creating 3D models to use out in the field. What we are finding, though, is that their own estimating crews weren't keeping up, and that's because they didn't need to, because we were producing 2D plans. So the industry needs to catch up a little bit on the estimating side. There's a lot of good contractors, and maybe you'll hear from some of those later today, that are ready to go and full speed ahead. But we're taking a very deliberate approach not to leave anybody behind. This is just a little bit of that project. It is a very small project. In fact, I think the construction estimate is less than $5 million. So it's a very small project, but we wanted to try it on a small project and an easy project that's basically just a cross-section project. So more to come on that. And this is our schedule. We hope to let that in March. I think that may slip to June, just to make sure all the utilities are clear, but we're moving full speed ahead on that. And then just it's not just what we do in design, creating the model, but how are we gonna review these plans? How are we going to what are we going to use out in the field to build these projects? And so it's been a whole kind of life cycle of work that we're doing to get prepared to deliver this digital model. Some other things I'm going to go through a few slides that just show some examples of how we're using the 3D models out in the field. But you can, and the devices that we're using, either the tablets, or we've even seen some good quality work on an iPhone, that in the field we can see things, and we can check foundation elevations. We can check offsets from center lines, and it's really impressive what we're able to do. What the the technology is enabling us to do out in the field. Here's just an example of trying to tie down a leveling pad layout and what you can see on screen. Here's a close up of that, and so it's really making things easy out in the field. And again, we've got to make sure we have the technology devices for our field folks, or this we're not going to get the full benefit of this. Here's just an example of some of those devices, and I think you saw some of our partners that I think I saw on the agenda that some of our partners are up later, so they could even tell you much more about all this than I can. But we really want to get to this digital twin where our system eventually, we have a digital twin for our entire system for not only things like asset management and uh, making decisions on how we move forward with future projects, but also for things like when we have overweight, oversized loads going through, we're quickly able to check through the digital model that everything is fine. We're able to monitor changes in the environment because of storm events or hurricane events, things like that. So eventually we're going to get to the point where we have a digital twin of our entire system. And just here's some of the kind of the universe of terms that we're using for all this information. But let me move on. So the next thing I want to talk about is how we're planning to use unmanned aerial systems. And again, what's driving this is uh, the increase in technology and accuracy of lidar devices on these unmanned aerial systems, but also just safety. The more we can get or limit the exposure of our folks and our partners, the safer we can be. And so these pictures are not TxDOT, or I don't believe they're in Texas. I'm not sure where they are, but this is what we're trying to avoid by using more automated and unmanned aerial systems to go to places that are dangerous and expose our folks to dangers, and we can just send the unmanned aerial systems to do bridge inspections and things like that. So this is a Texas bridge, and it's an example of how those pictures on the right were taken by a unmanned aerial system, and you can really see how we can take advantage of those systems to do things safer. The other things that the unmanned aerial systems allow us to do is to get to places that are tough to get to because of natural disasters. We can get and see where there's roadway damage. We can get to like that picture on the left where there was a hazmat spill that was dangerous to get to, so we sent an unmanned aerial device in there. And then that one on the right is a tornado in the southeast Houston area. All right, so moving on quickly. So the other thing we're looking at is safety, and we're doing everything we can to limit, to reduce fatalities in our system. In fact, we have a goal to get to zero by 2050, statewide, zero fatalities by 2050. And one of the things we're doing is looking at intersections, and we're acknowledging that intersections are where a lot of fatalities have, and it's because of the conflicting movements in typical intersections. So we're looking at a lot of these new intersection designs and making sure that we understand them and know exactly where the best place to use these types of intersections, and then we're deploying them. And so far, we've had some great success. I think the roundabout probably is the most popular, and here you can see some of the stats, but the safety data is what's most impressive by our experience and others' experience with roundabouts. But what I've also found is we Rob mentioned I spent some time in our Fort Worth district, and we built some roundabouts, and we built them in series, and we really got some benefits in uh, lower delay times through corridors and reduced fuel consumption and less emissions, and uh, so that not only are there huge safety benefits of roundabouts, but there can be big operational improvements. Just a couple things that we found, and we're making sure we do these things when we're doing the design, but there are things that can go wrong in a roundabout design, uh, and it's important to have discipline and consistency in the design, including while it's being constructed. We've seen some cases where they made some decisions in the field on a roundabout construction where some of the safety benefits weren't realized because we changed some things in construction, like the speed slowing entry into roundabouts. We've seen some of those reduced in or changed in the field that really had an impact on safety. Next thing I'd like to talk about is how we're working with industry on connected and autonomous vehicles in Texas, and mainly I wanted to talk about how we're working with industry on connected and autonomous freight. And you can see some of the partners that we're working with there in this slide. Uh, but we're continuing to work on some of our long haul freight corridors on I 10 and I 20, I 35 north south, the I 40, and the I 45 corridor between Houston and Dallas. And then we've got a pilot here in Austin on the State Highway 130. But really, what these pilots are designed to do are testing out connected and autonomous infrastructure that we can put in the field that helps and enables connected and autonomous freight and allows freight to be more efficient through the state. We don't have all the answers. We're working with and partnering with a lot of really smart companies, but we're really trying to find out what the industry needs from a state DOT on our facilities to make all this work. Here you can see some of those pilots across the state. Uh, we're kind of spread out in the state, but we've got the Texas Triangle from Dallas Fort Worth down through Austin to San Antonio, and then east to Houston. A lot of that testing is going on in that Texas Triangle, where the majority of our population is. And then just a little bit about artificial intelligence. Uh, I heard somebody give a presentation that artificial intelligence isn't artificial nor intelligent, but we're using machine learning to try to improve things. And you can see here some of the things we're trying to look at. But one area that we've looked at is our intelligent highway systems and our traffic management centers. And we're trying out a platform in Austin. And I think well, here's some of the stuff we're working on. But the one thing in the Austin Traffic Management Center, we've tried an AI platform, working with a partner, and we're able to get uh, emergency response crews to incidents on an average of 11 minutes quicker using this system. And so that's means the world right there. 11 minutes could be a big difference in whether you save somebody's life, you get something cleared so you don't create other incidents. Uh, you just get out there quicker, and it's really proven beneficial already. We've got a lot to learn. Again, by no means am I or we the experts, but we like to work with a lot of smart people in the industry to help us along. And I'll just add one last thing. All of this is geared towards ending the streak and lowering fatalities on our state highway system. We have the campaign in Texas. There has not been a deathless day on Texas roadways since November 7th, 2000, and we're really trying to work hard to end that streak.